I just don't know what to do with myself.
No. Hello everybody and welcome to Misplaced Hours. This is the final beer in the saga. It seems to have created itself. This is the final single hop IPA from BrewDog in their recent IPA is Dead range. This is HBC. This is a prototype American hop. I again don't know much more apart from that. That's just taken straight from the BrewDog site. But again, it's 6.7% ABV. It's same malt bill, same quantity of hops, just the hop type differs. So let's give it a go. Let's see what it's all about.
Sort of wondering if we're saving the best till last, or I don't know. It's hard to tell.
No idea.
Hard to tell.
It's already got a decent amount of carbonation though to it, so
yeah,
that's a good sign. Add that to the list. So just like with all the others, as you'd expect from the same malt bill, fairly amber hue. This one's a bit lighter though. It's a bit more towards the golden side of things, but nice, decent, thick head. Fair amount of carbonation. I'm not seeing as sort of as noticeable a stream of bubbles coming out from the top like I saw with the first one, but it's not too bad. So let's give it a swirl and a sniff.
Okay.
Nice.
Lighter.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Bit fruitier.
Yeah, it's mainly focusing more on the citrus sort of fruits, you know, kind of like grapefruit and...
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a real tropical fruit character to it, but there's not really much more in terms of hop character. You know, it's not like the piney hops, it's more of the sort of grapefruits, you know, sort of the side of things. It's not really...
Yes.
I can't really get much through in terms of any sense of the malt, but...
Well, it seems to be very strongly based on the fruit.
There's a bit of melon in there. Yeah, that's basically what I can get anyway from the aroma. Is just it's fairly heavy on the citrus fruits and the tropical fruits, but and a bit of a sweetness to it. But I think that's more from the fruits rather than from the malt. But
yeah, it's kind of was almost going back a stage towards Galaxy, but it actually seems to be taking over now rather than more involved, I guess. So I guess that shows just how much of a spectrum
just
the beer
change in
we
hop
have
type.
done. And the change in hop type can actually do to a beer. So it's very interesting how different it can be. So
yeah, let's give it a taste. So.
Yep.
Cheers.
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 Sort of felt smooth.
Yeah, that was very subdued in comparison to the other two sort of heavy citrus fruits, you know, IPAs before. Kind of got a aftertaste that's fairly similar to grapes. You know, it's kind of got like that kind of dry.
Yes, that's right.
Sense to it.
That's right.
You know, you get sort of sense of kiwi fruit and of melon, and yeah, just kind of like those fairly fleshy, you know, citrus fruits.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's not too much of a bitterness to finish. You know, I mean, it is actually fairly smooth. You know, just like you said. You know, it does go down fairly easily. You know, it's not too imposing in comparison to the other ones.
It's quite I'm trying to think of the right way of saying it, but basically it's got a very the taste is very continued throughout the flavour. There's no diverse flavours hitting you from all corners. It's just all that one nice fruit flavour. That is the dominant flavour taking over.
Yeah. I mean it's just like you said, it's got a continuous aspect of the tropical fruit, and then you don't really get any deviations from that. Like you don't get sort of a sense of some piney hops, for example, or the resinous hops, or you don't get like a more bitter sense in the finish. It's just a fairly smooth, continuous.
Absolutely, I'm not picking up any kind of bitter taste out of this.
No. And in terms of the mouthfeel, it's pretty decently carbonated. I would say it's definitely lower than what we've had so far, but you don't really need excessive carbonation with these sort of flavours, because it's all fairly, it's not too out there.
It's almost aiming towards a sort of fruit juice kind of territory, and obviously the lack of carbonation would suggest they want to concentrate more on the fruitiness than anything else. I would almost consider this a bit of an outside one in a way, because the other ones I've noticed did have a similar theme going, apart from maybe the Challenger.
But that was more focused on the bittering side of things rather than the fruity.
Yes, absolutely. Again, I suppose, like I said with the Challenger, if you're into the lack of fruitiness, then go for that. But actually, this is the complete opposite. If you're into having the fruity taste, then definitely choose this one.
Oh yeah.
Because that's definitely what you get.
I mean, this might be because this is a new prototype hop from the US. It might be representing maybe a change in stance of the drinkers, in that beforehand they were all about the really heavy, fruity, piney flavours in their IPAs, but maybe this hop is more representative of them maybe changing the style a bit, and they actually want the more subdued flavours, because this definitely is not really heavy on the flavours. I mean,
no, you could have this quite nicely with pretty much any meal, really. I'm not averse to my knowledge of meals to match beers or anything, but I would say this one would be almost like a safe choice.
Because it wouldn't
impose
on any of the flavours from the food, and because I mean, in all of the recent hops from the US, they've all been fairly heavy on the bitterness, and also on the fruity character, but this might be representing more of a transitional point. That they might be starting to delve, or sort of trying to deviate from that, and maybe just trying different aspects to maybe let more of the beer base come through. Because if we just cloud, the flavours with lots of hop character, then you kind of forget that it's actually meant to be a beer in the first place.
Absolutely, yes. That's kind of what I immediately picked up as I first tasted it. It didn't feel like what you might call traditional beer. Like you say, it seems to be trying to deviate from what is the norm, I guess, what's considered the norm. But then I guess that's what the joy of trying different hops is all about, coming up with these different brilliant flavours, really. So it's nice to get an idea of what to expect.
And it's been good the whole exercise, you know, it's been good to actually, you know, it really shows just how just changing one hop type can significantly change the beer type, you know, the whole, you know, what you get from the beer.
Absolutely.
Is really contributed, you know, by the hop type, you know, that really controls the overall experience that you get.
Yes.
In you know, in the final product, you know, and it just goes to show you just how significant, you know, that aspect of it is, and
definitely.
Just how, you know, the brewers, you know, can mix together 5 or 6 different hop types, and that's quite a achievement, really, you know, when just, you know, being able to transition between hop types, and it just goes to show you just how significant a change you can actually get from that. So
it's a very very interesting one, this one.
Yeah. I mean, I
would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sort of the middle of the road kind of, you know, hop type, in terms of it's got the citrusy, fruity character to it, but it's not too imposing in terms of bitterness. It's a very smooth, you know, taste during and in the aftertaste and in the finish.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would, definitely rate this fairly highly. I mean, in terms of it in the context of, you know, the IPAs we've been having, how would you rate us?
I guess again, you're talking about almost like the opposite spectrum to the Challenger we had earlier on. I guess if I was to really go for personal preference, I'd probably choose the Challenger. But then again, it's to do with your mood, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're into the fruitiness, then definitely go for this one.
Yeah.
If not, then I would more aim towards the Challenger.
Yeah.
But for this one, I guess I would actually rate it quite high, really. Probably maybe 7, 8. I would say probably 8 actually out of 10, because this one actually has given me that bit more of an edge, a bit more of an interest. I'm more into this beer. I guess it may be because it's new. It kind of feels new to the palate, so I'm giving it a higher rating, but it's definitely one I would recommend trying. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an interesting concept in terms of, you know, not trying to overload the palate with loads of fruit and loads of pine, you know, and the typical hop flavours, you know, you get, and the fact that it's not got a heavy bitterness to the finish will certainly appeal to most people. I mean, it definitely appeals to me. I mean, I do like my IPAs, but you know, to have something this well balanced, you know, with just one hop type, you know, is certainly quite an achievement. So yeah, I mean, I would probably rate this something like 8.5 out of 10. You know, it's certainly a very good example of, you know, just how you can use a hop type to create a very well composed beer, you know, with such a small.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
It's good to know that things keep on being tried.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, we're always got to find different combinations, and I guess this is only single hop, but there's all sorts of opportunities for more of a blend, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, this is the first time I've seen that hop type, so
absolutely.
There are plenty of chances for it to be integrated into a IPA, and I think that would support, you know, certain hop types fairly well. You know, I mean, I think if you had this with a base, you know, as like, you know, the base with something like Challenger, for example, you know, you'd have a fairly sort of bitter IPA, but one also still retains a lot of fruity character to it, you know. So
yeah, it's a good point. I wouldn't mind trying something like that actually. So hopefully somebody thinks of that, and You never know, we could be trying that in a little while, so it'll be very interesting. I think.
And in terms of, because it's the last one, what do you, which one do you think was your personal favourite out of the lot?
Kind of tough, but I guess in the end I'm going to have to go with obviously personal choice. I would say, although I rated this higher, I would go with the Challenger on a usual sort of basis if you were to ask me for a safe or what I consider a safer choice. The Challenger, but this one is very interesting, and it's good to see a demonstration of a single hop that can be quite this citrusy and really bring out all those different flavours like it did. But again, I'll have to go for the Challenger really.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that to use a single hop IPA, in terms of to use the UK hop types, which are normally, you know, considered to be more used, you know, in a blend, you know, of hop types, was definitely a fairly daring move, you know, by BrewDog. But in terms of my personal favourite, I must admit, I think I'm going to have to stick with the Motueka, because I just think that that had just the perfect sort of balance between, you know, the citrusy aspect, but also the resinous quality of the hops. You know, it had that sort of the dual aspect to it, and then it also had a decent enough bitterness in the finish. And then it also let the malt come through. You know, I mean, it certainly didn't let it come through as much with the Challenger, but
no.
You still got more of a sense of that compared to something like this or something like Galaxy, you know, which was a fairly sort of hop sort of it was more of a hop bomb, you know, in comparison, you know, like it really overloaded, you know, the palate with, you know, the flavours that were more characteristic of it. So
definitely.
Yeah, that's all what it's about, you know. It's about the different views of it, and I think this is a perfect way to, you know, to demonstrate, you know, just the variability in hop types. And
definitely, it's a good time to try them all really. And it clearly shows the diversity which single hops can really take.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's all we got to say on that matter. So cheers for watching. I hope you enjoyed the whole series that we did for this, and I'm sure you'll be able to expect more in the future. So thanks for watching, and cheers.
Cheers.